There's an ancient principle older than any modern seduction manual, discovered by the Greeks long before psychology or neuroscience existed. They noticed something the common man still does not understand. True masculine power is not born from what he shows, but from what he controls within. It is not apathy, it is not coldness. It is not meaningless indifference, it is presence. A presence built through emotional discipline that prevents a woman's beauty, her tests, or uncertainty from pulling you out of your center. The greatest loss of value in the modern man is not loud, it is silent. It happens when he reacts too quickly, talks too quickly, gives himself away too quickly. When her gaze destabilizes him, or her silence makes him feel small. This automatic reaction tells the female brain he is emotionally fragile. And emotional fragility, even disguised as kindness, is perceived as lack of internal leadership. The point of impact is simple but brutal. Stoicism is not a pretty Instagram philosophy. It is a weapon of seduction. Women desire men who are not pulled by impulses, who do not bend to momentary emotions, who do not fall apart under tension. They do not want a cold robot. They want a man who remains whole under pressure. Stoicism creates this structure. It shapes behavior that signals value, strength, and reliability. A man must carry order within himself before entering the chaos of the world. In seduction, this means something deeper. The more organized you are internally, the more magnetic you become externally. The woman feels when a man is guided by his center, not by the need for approval. His energy is stable, his rhythm is firm, his posture shows direction, and this stability triggers desire. Behind the search for stability lies a pain you know well, the fear of appearing weak, the fear of being seen as reactive or insecure, the fear that one emotional slip will expose what you try to hide. This fear is common among analytical, introspective men, but it is exactly this fear that creates the fragility that destroys presence. You don't eliminate fear, you master the reaction it produces. That is why this video is not motivational, it is strategic. Greek strategy was not poetry, it was applied psychology. They understood how desire reacts and how perception is formed. They discovered that inner discipline is more seductive than outward attitude. Greek strategy depends on behavior, not speeches, on consistency, not luck, on control. It works today because it touches the foundation of desire. The path begins now. The first Stoic pillar is mastering emotional reaction. There is a behavior that destroys a man's value before he even opens his mouth. The speed at which he reacts. Most men respond to everything too quickly. They smile before thinking, explain before analyzing, agree before reflecting. This automatic reflex signals a man seeking acceptance, not connection. For the woman, it does not go unnoticed. Her brain interprets accelerated gestures as emotional dependence. She sees a man reacting to the environment, not creating his own rhythm. A man without his own rhythm is easily discarded. This emotional hurry is the trademark of insecurity. He fills silence to avoid appearing boring, smiles to avoid appearing cold, talks to avoid appearing shy. But every excessive attempt exposes what he tries to hide: neediness, reactivity, lack of center. When you slow your responses, control your gaze, and allow a second to exist before movement, your presence changes. It is not about being slow, it is about being intentional. It is showing that nothing in her is strong enough to pull you out of your structure. The female reading is biological. For thousands of years, women identified emotional stability in unpredictable environments. That instinct still operates today. A 2019 study from the University at Buffalo revealed that male emotional control is perceived as social and reproductive competence. For the female instinct, the stable man is the capable man. A neutral posture during tests, the absence of long justifications, and controlled emotions signal maturity. She does not need to hear that you are solid. She perceives it. What truly creates distinction is contrast. When she provokes, you analyze. When she tests, you observe. When she tries to pull you into an emotional game, you maintain direction. Most men surrender to her stimuli. You do not. This activates a powerful internal mechanism. The realization that she does not control your emotional state. The moment she sees she cannot take you off center, you stop being common. You attract not because you react well, but because you do not react at the pace she expects. Scientific evidence confirms this. In 2020, UCLA demonstrated that emotionally stable people are perceived as more attractive due to safe predictability. It is the feeling that you will not explode, collapse, or oscillate. This tranquility reduces her anxiety and increases perceived value. Predictability does not come from perfection. It comes from consistency. Consistency in tone, minimal gestures, and a posture that does not change under tension. A man who stays centered naturally changes how he is perceived. When he is grounded in his own life, people around him feel that stability. This contrast often deepens interest. Research supports this idea. Studies have shown that individuals with a clear sense of purpose are often viewed as more attractive and trustworthy. Purpose signals stability, and stability is universally appealing. When you communicate your plans with confidence and set boundaries calmly, something fundamental happens. People sense that you are leading your own life. This is not dominance over others. It is ownership of yourself. The Stoic principle of priority turns this mindset into action. It means honoring your schedule, commitments, and personal standards without apology. Many people lose themselves when they constantly rearrange their lives to please someone who hasn't shown equal effort. That is not generosity, it is neglecting your own foundation. Priority creates value. Total availability often erodes it. When you maintain structure and refuse to abandon your values out of fear, you become someone others respect. Healthy detachment is not a lack of interest. It is emotional discipline. It means you are not here to seek approval. You are here by choice. This inner autonomy creates a presence that is felt without being announced. When you develop this second pillar, the way others respond to you changes. You are no longer perceived as seeking validation, but as someone with direction, substance, and purpose. From that point, connection no longer needs to be forced. It develops naturally. The third Stoic pillar is emotional steadiness. What separates a memorable person from one easily forgotten is not appearance or talent, but how they respond under pressure. Many people are shaken by small uncertainties, a delayed message, a shift in tone, an unexpected situation. These moments often reveal emotional reactivity, and emotional instability is commonly perceived as uncertainty. Stoicism begins with accepting what you cannot control. You do not control other people's emotions, decisions, or past experiences. You control your own responses, and that is sufficient. Modern psychology supports this. People who regulate their emotions project calm, reliability, and confidence. Emotional regulation is not a performance, it is a form of quiet leadership. The more grounded you are, the more at ease others feel in your presence. One of the biggest illusions in seduction is believing desire is born from intensity. It is not. Desire is born from stability. A woman connects with the man who remains solid when everything around him shifts. The man who does not rise and fall with her emotions. The man who does not oscillate when tested or provoked. Stability is not the absence of emotion. It is refusing to let emotion dictate behavior. When her mood changes, you keep your rhythm. When she pressures, you keep your center. This creates respect. And respect is the foundation of desire. Research reinforces this truth. A 2016 University of British Columbia study showed calm, contained male expressions increase perceived attractiveness. It is not loud laughter or exaggerated emotion that creates impact. It is stable silence, firm presence, a steady gaze. These signals show you are not ruled by the environment, but grounded within yourself. She feels this instantly. She senses when she is with a man who understands chaos without becoming it. This is the beginning of the unshakable aura. The Stoic anchoring ritual turns this pillar into daily practice. Before meeting a woman, breathe deeply for 30 seconds, expanding the diaphragm and slowing the body. This alters physiology, reduces reactivity, and sharpens clarity. Then repeat the Stoic phrase, "I control my center. The rest is noise." This affirmation stabilizes energy and focus. Finally, adjust posture. Chest open, chin neutral. Slow, deliberate steps. Posture is a silent declaration of emotional authority. When you enter with this structure, you do not seduce, you attract. The aura of the unshakable man is not theatrical or forced. It is not exaggerated. It is not fabricated. It comes from one truth: you do not bend. You do not alter yourself. You do not get contaminated. When a woman sees her instability cannot shift yours, something primitive awakens. Stoicism stops being philosophy and becomes magnetism. This is where the rare man begins to appear. Conclusion: the Stoic strategy developed by the Greeks was never passivity. It was engineered power. They understood the winning man is not the loudest, most impulsive, or most reactive. He is the most internally disciplined. In seduction, this truth becomes undeniable. Women are not drawn to men who negotiate with themselves for approval. They are drawn to men who control their emotional state and refuse to surrender to chaos. Robert Greene captured this precisely. Power is born from self-control. It is not brute strength, intelligence, or experience. It is internal mastery. When you control emotion, you control presence. When you control presence, you control perception. When you control perception, you control the impact you leave. That is why stable, disciplined men remain in memory while others vanish. You now understand the psychology separating the desirable man from the disposable man. The next step is application. Application means bringing emotional control into your conversations, your voice, your posture, and your choices. It means abandoning hurry, urgency, and the need to prove something. Presence is born as much from what you do not do as from what you do. This video should have revealed there is a higher level, a level where seduction stops being effort and becomes consequence. This is the level I want you to reach. If you want advanced techniques based on real psychology, scientific studies, and precise body language, there is a path. The Code of Seduction offers a complete system not scattered across the internet. It restructures internal value and changes how women react to your presence. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. There you will understand how emotional engineering transforms a common man into someone rarely ignored. Some men continue reacting to chaos. Others learn to dominate it. The difference between them begins here. And now so does yours.